The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Go ahead. we love you, Chris. You are now rocking with the best. This is the Players Lounge, sponsored by Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys. And boy, do I have some players at the table today. You understand me? And I'm gonna start with the guy that's always here. You know, the only 42 we acknowledge.
Already.
Only 42 we acknowledge. BC in the building, a place to be.
Yes, sir.
My man, the box safety extraordinaire.
Special house.
Tell him who it is.
Already, man.
Yes,
4-2 in the
indeed.
building, man. Feeling amazing.
Barry Church is in the building today, and some guys that got some of them things, that good cookie rings on their fingers.
Y'all do got some rings,
That
don't
boy
y'all?
got the good cookie ring. You know, we call it the good cookie ring for a reason.
Little ring pop.
Little ring pop.
Razzle dazzle.
My man Isaiah Stanback, the champ, is in the building. What's going on? Man, I got about 30 years of NFL experience right here, you know, and he take up about half of it.
Absolutely.
But my man Nate Newton is in the building. What it do, Nate?
My thing already blowed out, man. Cause we finna turn this thing out. It ain't working, so I ain't worried about it, man. We in the house, man.
You in the
Big
lounge,
body
baby.
banging, man.
You in the lounge,
the only
baby.
one we gonna acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Only 42.
Every time I come in here, he try to put on a big show for this
Man,
dude,
that's
man.
my man.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
100
Let me get his
man. 100 man. That's my guy.
Somebody fine sweatshirt he got on.
It's a little rag in the
Nice
bottom.
little nice
I don't know
thread
where to
count.
find that. Don't know where to find that.
Thread count
I ain't
right
never
there.
seen that online. No,
Gotta talk to
man.
Shaq Khan. Gotta talk to Shaq. He
Yeah,
can get you right,
okay.
man. He
Yeah.
gets you right. He gets
You
you
know,
right.
there's some numbers you don't have. But listen, guys, this is what I do. I check in. You know, it's been a long. You brothers had a long night last night. I know y'all did.
Yeah,
But you know, it's customary for me to check in with y'all brothers, man, just to check the mental check, just to see how you're doing. Isaiah, I'm gonna start with you, brother. How is your mental? How is your chicken? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right. I'm not sure about all Cowboys Nation, you know, but we've had a couple opportunities since the game ended to obviously talk about it, and we have a lot to talk about, man. These boys gotta pull the britches up if they want to finish this thing out the way they really want to. So we're gonna hit it.
Yeah, no doubt. Big Nate, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm fabulous, man. I'm doing great, man. Just glad to be in the same room with y'all, man. Really, I'm excited.
It
Yes, I am.
is.
And once we get through with this, I just want to make an apology when we get through with this. If you don't mind.
You gonna make an apology?
Yes, sir, I do. I want to make this apology once we get through with this.
Okay, all right.
Barry, how about you, man? How you doing?
Doing amazing, man. I got one of them steadfast workouts in this morning, so I'm feeling pretty pumped up right now. You know, it's a little warm, but I'm feeling good though. Feeling good, baby.
Wow.
Barry, if I ever come in here and you tell me you're having a bad day, I'm just gonna pack my stuff up and
Yeah,
leave.
it's real then.
It's
Yeah, it'll be
something
real.
going on. I ain't never seen that brother have a bad day since I known him.
Yeah.
But what you apologizing for?
I got to apologize to Coach McCarthy.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought that he made a rational move with the not kicking the field goal, but kind of find out the kicker wasn't in sync. The way the wind was blowing, as cold as it was, hard as football was, they just felt that he couldn't make it. And so that's what I get from. That's what Mickey was trying to tell me earlier. So if that is truly the case, I want because I went off on him. You know, I went straight off like, man, God, I was making all the emotional moves.
Yeah.
So I want to say sorry to Coach McCarthy, but the rest of y'all do your job. All right?
Got to.
Yeah,
That's
the
how we
rest of
start.
y'all. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I would ask you, how do you feel immediately after this loss yesterday? I mean, you've had an opportunity to digest, you know, and everything. What have you come to? What have you come to now, Nate? As far as this loss, is it as big as people making it, or is this, hey man, it's the L, you caught one?
Yes, it is. Because of the mere fact we haven't stopped nobody from running the football.
Yeah.
This thing we got away with it with teams that are with less ability and no quarterback. We can't get away from it when we have a quarterback he found his receivers, and we're not going to get away from it. When you got a Hall of Famer going to the sideline at the end of regulation, looking at his head coach saying, "Run the ball."
Yeah. No, in so many words.
Yes, and so that's how I feel, man. I'm asking our defensive line. Do your job.
DYJ.
Yeah.
DYJ. I don't disagree with you, Nate, dog. And the thing is, you worry so much about Aaron. I know we talked about the ground game leading up to the game, but Aaron only threw the ball 20 times.
That's it.
20. And 3 of those was touchdowns. and 2 of those were drop touchdowns.
Make it make sense.
Bombs
So
away.
it really should have been 5 touchdowns out of the 20 passes that he threw. And the reason why he's allowed to only have to throw 20 times is because of this ground game. And any team that has the capabilities, every team we're about to face for the rest of the year, to run the ball, you're always going to have a chance to win, regardless of who's at quarterback, because you don't have to have that many attempts. Dak Prescott, anytime you have 40-plus attempts, you know how I feel about this, Heck.
I know.
If Dak throws 40-plus times, it's not the situation
How
you want
many
to
ended
be.
up throwing?
46.
Yeah. We're gonna get to a lot of that. Yeah.
Dak Prescott's passing rating, 78.6. Aaron Rodgers, 146.7.
On 20 passes. It makes me nervous, man. It makes me nervous. I'm not going to lie, because we look into the future. We looking to have a long playoff run and see what this team can do. But if you look at the NFC, the teams that are going to make that dance, like Isaiah said, can all run that football.
Right.
You're looking at the Seahawks. They coming downhill with it. The Giants, they can do it too. We know the Eagles. We know the Eagles can run downhill. 49ers, these are all bad matchups. And what these teams do, they won't give up on the run. Like there's situations earlier in this year where teams had us on the ropes a little bit. Yeah. Washington, Detroit, they were running the ball well. But for some reason, whether it's bad coaching, whatever it was, they abandoned it after they got down maybe a couple scores, maybe 7 points. They abandoned it. So that's when Dallas kind of took over with that pass rush. But with kudos I got to give to Green Bay is you're down 2 scores in the second half.
Guess what they did?
They stuck with it.
Have we seen that before? Have we seen that before?
Yes, we have.
What happened when we saw that before? Everybody wrote it off as, Chicago, they ran themselves out of the game. Oh, okay.
It only hurt. It catches up to you when it catches up to you. Look at last year. Those penalties, we was winning, so everybody was kind of like, penalties are good. So that playoff game, what happened? Penalties bit us right in the butt. Look at this. The ground game, we still been winning. Teams been running the ball. We still been winning. It's going to bite us in the butt when it matters most.
Can I ask you a question, Heck?
Go ahead.
What place are the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East?
Third.
A healthy third, too. It ain't like tied for, they third.
What division is the next opponent that we're about to play?
North.
NFC North.
But the NFC, conference.
Yeah,
NFC,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, can't drop too many of these. No, can't drop too many of these, but I got to ask you, guys, last year Vic Fangio came in here and he came up with the term, the blueprint.
That Jay-Z,
Y'all
man.
remember that, the blueprint? Hey, and I think today is the official date that the blueprint dropped. But anyway, I could be wrong, but I think it did.
Damn.
The blueprint is out on this defense. And you just alluded to the fact that the teams that you play here for the rest of the season, they can do one thing really well, and that's run the ball. And if we just start with Minnesota, they like that.
Cook.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball on you. Is this something, Nate, that they can overcome going into the latter half of this season and into the playoffs? Because we anticipate this is a playoff level team, but is this something that they can overcome, or is this just who they are?
They better. Can they stop it? No, they haven't stopped it. Can they stop it? I don't know who is that guy to lead them. Is it Bohannon, a young second-year guy saying, I'm finna stand up and do my job? Is it the guy they got, Hankins?
Yes.
I've been here before, fellas. Let's do our job. Or is it the young Michael Parsons who said in the postgame yesterday, we need to start getting our gaps and quit worrying about sacks? Well, you are the leader, so won't you do your job? Right. And I'm talking about Parsons first, and everybody else falls in line. Can they do it? Yes, because I think they have the coaches that will put them in position to do their job. Dan Quinn, Junior, Witt?
Yeah.
All these guys, they will put these guys in position.
Do you need help, or can the guys do the guys just need to step up? The reason why I asked that is because Miami just lost they're one of their leading defensive linemen. Mm-hmm. So now there's a guy that used to play in Miami who's just sitting at the crib right now who has attitude and who's absolutely nasty, and he's a free agent. Do you go get a guy out of free agency to add in there just to add a little attitude to that room, to put a little pep in their step, or do you just say, hey, fella, step up?
This is the weird thing about what you're saying is I think going into OTAs and two-a-days, you thought that you had all the depth in the world at the defensive line position.
But not at the interior defensive line. And the thing is, like, now they added Hankins, but Hankins is in a part of the rotation. He's not really in there when you really want him to be in there. I don't know how many snaps he played yesterday, but every time I peeked over there, it was Osa that was in there, and it was Gallimore that was in there. I'm sure there's some plays that I missed him, but I don't think that he had as many plays as he had last game in his first appearance. So all of a sudden, you bring in the big Hankins, but you're only utilizing him as a rotational guy. When you bring him in, you just need to be the guy that's first and second down. I don't care what rotation we're on right now. You need to be that force. But that's not even the issue. They started reaching the edges. And the reason because they're reaching the edges is because they were playing too heavy to the strength, right? Yeah. With safety, you break the huddle, what are you looking at? Okay, where's the tight end at? All right, well, as soon as you find the tight end, okay, boom, that's the strength. Well, Dallas's defense is favoring the strength so heavily that when these teams start pulling their tight ends and start pulling their tackles and their guards and going weak side, now all of a sudden it's a numbers game that you're not winning.
Yeah, you got leverage by line.
Yep. Yeah. This as a box safety, and you know this is an attitude. Stopping the run is just a complete attitude. As a box safety, you lining up and you knowing, hey, they're gashing us in the run. It's coming our way. You know what they're about to do, and you still can't stop it as a defense. Is that something like they just taking your heart out? Do you feel discouraged by that? What is the feeling on defense?
It's demoralizing. You feel like you're getting punked out there, and like you said, it comes down to an attitude. I mean, Marinelli, my coach while I was here, that's all he told about. If you want to stop the run, if you want to be a good defense stopping the run, it's all about want to. It's all about that attitude and striking people out there. We've seen it too many times in this game. Our second-level defenders, safeties, linebackers, whatever they is, they're doing too much catching. Yeah. Too much catching out there. You got a guy 245 pounds, Dylan, coming downhill. You want to catch him with your chest, he's going to drive you 5 yards back. And that's exactly what we saw happening. There's too much catching. There's not enough guys at the point of attack hitting these guys and putting them down where they stand. That leaky yardage, those guys falling forward for extra 3-4 yards, it makes a difference in a long time because you got a 2nd and 8. They run the ball. You hit him, for a 2-yard gain. He falls forward for another 3. That's 5 yards. You're in manageable distance right there. You're 3rd and 3.
Yep.
The first 6 runs, it went like this. 1st and 10, it was 2nd and 6. Then it was 3rd and 2. Then the next time it was 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2. That's 4 yards a clip.
Yeah.
And I knew right then, I said, these boys ain't gonna give up.
No.
They down by 14. First run, right to the outside. I remember one time Zeus told me, hey, man, he got too greedy. I said, I don't know. Next few plays, they run right back outside. We never stopped it. We stopped it one time.
They were pulling cats left and right.
And he just drawed up this thing on. I wish we could show this on the thing. He just drawed it up how they out-leveraged us.
Yeah, so, it was the whole game.
Micah Parsons. Michael Parsons on the edge. Michael Parsons at linebacker. We're starting to see something that's starting to be problematic because teams are slowly figuring out Dan Quinn's equation for Michael Parsons. Now, yesterday, he looked like a guy that hadn't played linebacker in a while, and he was lost. You start seeing that backside guard get to him, the center cut him off, things like that. Are you concerned about the way that Dan Quinn is using Michael Parsons at linebacker? Because we've had this conversation plenty of times, and you could not have been pleased with his performance yesterday.
I was not, but I didn't fault him.
Yeah.
Because how can you be expected to be great at something simply just because you're a great athlete? You haven't had the reps. They made a decision last year, to Heckman's advice, to play defensive end.
Yeah.
That was a decision they made. And I remember stating, hey, utilize him at DN, but play him at linebacker. Yeah. Right? So he gets
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so he gets that dual utilization. But the thing is, now all of a sudden you put him at DN primarily almost all day. And not only are they going to start picking him off by cutting him off, not only are they going to start picking him off in terms of pulling guards and tackles to go force him to the sideline and start getting the edge. Now all of a sudden, when you do have a shortage in linebackers and you have to go back to his true depth chart position, he looks like a fish out of water. Right. That's not his fault. That's not his fault.
The lack of reps, your eyes. I mean, when you're on that first level, you're on the defensive end, you focusing on one thing. You seeing what that offensive lineman is going to do and what he's going to have. When you're at linebacker, there's a lot of things you got to look for. And it's those reps. Those reps count. But I'm going to tell you what, man. This defense, the edge guys, the corners, they got to stop making business decisions out there, man. Because we seeing that the edge is getting reached. Cats is just letting them go. You know what? I'm going to stick on this block a little bit too long. Let me just go ahead and push him out.
I'm going to say everybody but D-Law.
D-Law's playing well.
played his butt off.
He figured it out.
D-Law played his butt off.
Yeah.
He figured it out.
But that's his strong suit. I think everybody would say D-Law is the man against the run. But there were some other guys, like you said, there were some business decisions being made. And maybe the defensive line equation that we've been talking about has also affected our linebacker play. Because if you don't have a guy that's a space eater that's gobbling those blocks up.
That was Hankins.
But it's not
happening.
And
I know a lot of people are going. I know we're talking about the defensive fronts and their front seven. I don't truly think that's our biggest issue right now. I really don't. I think it's the unwillingness of the cornerbacks that we have on this defense to come up and have run support.
That's what I'm talking about. Business decisions. Those guys on the edge.
Why do you attack the edge?
Because
you forcing those guys that don't really tackle to tackle.
Yeah.
You don't force the edge against the Rams. You don't force the edge against like Cleveland. Some of these guys that have cornerbacks that are willing to come up there and hit you and your kneecaps. Pat P. Ain't nobody gonna run in that Pat P. Pat P will come up and fill the gap.
You seen what Ramsey does out there.
Exactly. So
it's showing up on tape.
It's showing up on tape. They're not willing. It's the willingness, right?
On blocks.
Kelvin Joseph's the only one that's willing to do it. Man, that wasn't even his character when he first got here because they had to put him on special teams and say, hey, well, you need to learn how to go out there and hit somebody.
That mentality.
So now when he comes to play defense, it's already innate in him. It's already instilled. But their teams are going to continue to pick off these edges as long as our team keeps going out there and being heavy set. Okay, like some of the things I'm seeing on film, they're going to keep doing counters. They're going to keep pulling guard. Nate would love to get out there on the edge and hit a corner. Love it.
Do you think that's more to do with Quinn's like wanting all that movement on the defensive line, trying to get early penetration so they're slunting down? You think it's just
some of the things that we're seeing right now, and I know we're not going to show my tablet, but like we're playing 3 defensive linemen sometimes to one side of the center.
That's overload.
And alignment
and assignment.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to have your assignment if your alignment ain't right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're making it easy for them to wash it down. To wash one side of the line down, all of a sudden, as soon as I wash that side down, I got to kick out your end. The front line is done.
Yeah.
The front wave is done. Now I'm worried about the second level. That's what my pulling guards are for. You get up to the second level. And then guess what? The cornerbacks don't want to come hit.
No.
All right, Donald's coming down trying to hit, but he ain't wrapping up.
Yeah. That's huge. That's what we seen yesterday. A lot of people, they're just throwing shoulders in there. Come up with a body part.
He ain't heavy enough for that.
No. Ain't got enough bricks in his pocket.
I understand what you're saying. But if that's the case, don't play Bohannon. Don't play the kid with Hankerson. Don't play them. You got to play quick, fast guys that can not only lose ground but can make it up with speed. So you can't play. But you got those guys in there. And whether you were playing an over or under, you got to do your job.
Yeah.
You got to do your job. And the edge, we have all seen our defense when they're at their best. You have to still set the edge. Mm-hmm. I don't care. You have to make it where it's obvious that it's the running back in the corner. Mm-hmm. We are not even coming across people's faces, man. As defensive line, we got to come back across people's faces and still kind of fill a gap. I have an effort. So you make it take out one of those guards. But everything free, and if I'm a corner, I'm looking at, wow, man, which one of these guys do I take out?
Yeah.
Before, it's too much going on because our space eaters are not grabbing bodies.
And I tell you what, that's the same thing we saw last year in the playoffs with Shanahan. He was catching the edges, boy. Nobody wanted no parts of Debo coming across that edge, those stretch runs, and those are things that's going to plague us. And that's why I asked that question, because it's going to be a problem, and we put it out there on tape, Isaiah. So if it's out there on tape, everybody know it. And until we fix it, everybody's going to play us that way. But look, we're down the defense. But we got some other people that we got to get to. And BC, time consistency and proof is the only way that I trust you.
Go ahead and
the
tell
only way that I trust you. We ain't going to let everybody off the hook, man. We're going to be right back. Stay rocking with us here on The Players Lounge.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, Shave Logic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit shavelogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to shavelogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Experience the most electrifying event of the holiday season, Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza, powered by Reliant. Every Friday and Saturday night from November 18th through December 17th, Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza ignites the star in Frisco with an unforgettable holiday performance showcasing the world-renowned Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, your favorite Dallas Cowboy football heroes, and Santa Claus, too. Visit thestardistrict.com/Christmas for more information. Gotta be like that for Santa Claus.
Santa gonna be in it.
Santa Claus and
that starts this week, huh?
And Dallas Cowboy heroes. So I know some.
That starts this week.
Hey, they cut the check. I might be in there.
Oh, there ain't no Mike. Ain't no Mike. You know they gonna be cutting that check. But at the table, as always, my man BC Isaiah Stanback in the building, and Mr. Nate Newton is here, man. Look, man, we had talked about it, man. You know, look. We put the defense in proper perspective and what was going on, guys. But Kellen Moore has been an offensive coordinator that everybody's been talking about him being in his bag, talking about the way that they got through the whole Cooper Rush situation. And now with Dak being back on the field and healthy and no longer on the mend, we thought we had a formula, fellas, to get to victory. And we went into Green Bay and we got away from the formula. We got away from the formula. Dak went back to pass 46 times.
Say it again for the people in the back, man.
46.
Damn.
46. 46 times. Now, look, I will say this. Tony Pollard had a night. 22 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown, 14 yards being the longest. I'm going to start with you, Isaiah, because you raised your hand.
I'm just going to let you keep going, but I just wanted to throw in there, I mentioned it earlier, but the running game in its totality averaged 5.1 yards on the ground. 5.1 yards per attempt. Would you say that's good, Nate Dogg?
That's good. That's good.
That's great. That's really good.
Nice.
All right, let's take it to the air. On those 46 attempts, 5.8 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Is there a problem there?
Not too big of a difference, man.
So if there's not too big of a difference, Nate Dogg, between when you rush the ball and when you pass the ball, why would you put it in the air that many times?
Yeah.
Is it the man under the center? Like, is it the man under the center that's saying, you know what? Hey, kill, X drive, whatever it is. Because you saw when we was watching that game, Olsen was talking to him in they little meetings they had, and he was saying, I think we need the offense tempo needs to get going. The tempo needs to get going when he had his interview with Dak. Now, you know what that means, Isaiah. When you talk about tempo getting escalated, you ain't running the football when you want that tempo to go crazy like that. So is it all on Mr. Moore over there? Or has my man over there, hey, speed this tempo up, we're going to throw this thing around?
I'm going to tell you something. Y'all know I'm a time of possession, man. I'm a big third down man, and that says that you're going to take in consideration of running the ball and trying to be balanced. I don't have a problem with Dak throwing the ball. I really don't. But I do have a problem with guys not knowing where to be when it's time to throw the ball. So this thing is deeper than Dak. This is much deeper than Dak. And maybe he don't want, I'm not over there in that locker room, so I don't have to worry about nobody fronting me or getting mad at me. And it's back to, man, do your job.
That's it.
YJ.
Do your job, wide receiver. Do your job, tight end. Do your job. This is a reoccurring thing, and it's getting to the point where we used to then see Dak flare up on the sideline. Well, we seeing Dak starting to flare up, and eventually it's going to leak out that certain guys are not dedicated to doing their jobs. I don't believe in number one receivers and number two receivers. I believe in dudes catching the ball. Some guys are better at certain situations. Kevin Martin was our third down guy. Kmart used to come in on Wednesdays and look at his deal and say, well, I'm in the game plan this week because he was our third down guy. Alvin Harper was our deep guy. Take it off the top, skinny routes and all of this, as long as it was – and Mike Irvin handled everything else.
DYJ.
Yeah.
I know what you're referencing. You're referencing those two interceptions.
Yes, sir.
The interception in the red zone, whose fault was that?
He threw it in a crowded area.
There's two people's fault.
Yeah.
Who were the two people that were at fault?
I'm gonna say this. Based off of the route that we saw, Schultz and CeeDee Lamb.
False. Schultz and Dak. Schultz, because Schultz is the man on the ball running. It's supposed to be a drive concept. Okay, everybody's clearing out. He's supposed to come shallow. CD's supposed to take it along the goal line right there. Okay, it's supposed to be two levels. Okay, level you play high-low. You high-low the linebackers and the safeties. Okay, high-low. Well, Schultz ran the wrong route. So Schultz ended up running the same route as CD, which is why they were shoulder to shoulder at the end of the play. It was Dak's fault because he compounded the problem by still throwing it. You can be as frustrated as you want to be. When you look out there and you see your guys running the wrong route, go to the next guy or throw it away.
But these things are based off of what, though?
What's that?
Timing.
Yeah, but that mistake, that mental error that Schultz had, plays dead. Throw it away.
No. It's based off of coverage. Am I correct?
If Schultz had ran the right route, Schultz would have been booty butt naked open underneath that coverage. Okay? Also, if Schultz ran his right route, CeeDee Lamb would have had that opportunity where Dak threw the ball. But by recognizing that there's some bad stuff going on over there, okay? You don't, as a quarterback, you don't compound that problem.
He had to be able to see that. I mean, you got two guys right in your lap.
You look up there and you say, they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, so why throw there?
You don't throw it.
So that's the first one. We're going to say the first one is on Schultz. The second one is on Dak. The
first play was on both of those guys.
Okay, on both of those guys. The second interception.
That one's up for discussion.
That one's up for discussion.
That one's up for discussion because you have a read in that position. Whenever you see CeeDee Lamb, and teams are starting to recognize this, typically whenever CeeDee Lamb's in a slot, now he's starting to run that, what they call middle field open or middle field close. Okay?
Yes.
All right, if you see split safeties, two safeties, right? That's what we call split safeties. All right, it doesn't matter if he's cover 2, it doesn't matter if it's cover 4. If I see two safeties back there, your job as a receiver in most systems is to split those two safeties. Okay, you run a post, right? Don't run a lazy post. You run a stick post, right? Run your route, boom, put your foot in the ground. That foot in the ground is the indicator for the quarterback, let that ball go. Okay. Right? When you see single safety, you can't run that because you're literally running your post into that post safety. So you cross his face, right? So you run a deep in route, whether it be 16 yards, whether it be 18 yards, but you run that in route across that safety's face. You're going to get hit in the back, right? DCBC is going to come hit you in the back, and that's okay. You take that all day long. What happened on that particular play is CeeDee Lamb ran his route, and you saw him indecisive at the top of his route.
So it's both of you are right. Then you're saying what Nate Dogg say is coverage. You're saying that
on this play.
On this play. Okay.
On this play is coverage.
Okay. So you would say it was indecision.
Yeah, on the first in the red zone. Yeah, that's Schultz ran the wrong route, and Dak compounded the problem by throwing it. On this particular one, it was the Packers did a heck of a job with their coverage. They ran cover 2 on one side of the field, and then they ran cover 4 on the other side.
That old school cover 6.
Man, listen here, that cover 6 will mess you up because what happens is on the cover 2 side, that safety is going to be substantially further back. Right? So when you see that safety further back, you're automatically thinking what? Single high. Okay, so when CD got to the top of his route, he was immediately starting to run the single high break off, but then he looked and he said, "There's two guys." Mm-hmm. So there was indecision right there. Well, you can't have indecision. If you're going to be either all the way wrong or all the way right. But either way, your quarterback is throwing this thing on time. And what happened with Dak?
The timing.
Dak threw the timing. He threw the ball as if it was what? Single high.
And as a quarterback yourself, can you see that? Like, can you see your receivers? He has indecision about his route. He's not really going full speed with his route. Can you see that?
You're not watching that because as a quarterback, he should have seen the safeties. Because as a quarterback, that's where you're typically looking. I'm looking at the safeties, right? I'm looking at pre-snap read and I'm looking at a post-snap read. Pre-snap showing me one thing, okay, it looks like it's single high. Once I snap the ball, I still have my eyes on the safety. Is it too high or is it single high? Now I know based upon what I'm seeing, I'm throwing this route based on that timing, okay? I'm not looking at my receiver to see if he's going to run his route correctly because there's a trust element to it. Right. I trust that he's seeing the same thing I'm running, which is why all receivers can't play in all systems because some systems are a lot more complex than others.
Yeah. Let me say this right here. Trust that he cannot run that route for me ever again. Trust that.
Cool. That's the second time, right?
Yeah. Trust that because.
Talking about Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago. He did the same thing.
As a coach, I'm saying as a coach, I'm serious. Norv Turner would have been told by Jimmy, we either don't run the route no more,
or he don't.
And we're gonna run the route because we got to keep the trees open.
Yeah.
This dude don't run that route again.
It cost you twice already.
Yeah. You don't run that route again. Not with him. If you do and it happen again, then somebody else needs it.
So what you're saying is, let me go ahead and wrap this up, okay, since it's Christmas time's coming up. You're saying CeeDee Lamb could run routes that are already pre-called.
That's all
But if he has to run,
if he has to read it on the fly, he struggles.
And I said it yesterday. I said it on the show yesterday. It seems to me this guy has problems coming into the middle of the field, reading coverages. That can't. I'm gonna make it easy for my player. I gotta have it where he can win. So I'm gonna keep him outside, and I may fake it now.
Or crossing routes.
But I ain't finna mess around with it.
Yeah.
Now, guys, y'all watching the football where y'all see the elite level quarterbacks throwing guys open. That's just, I mean,
Aaron Rodgers.
Hello, you saw it, throwing guys open, and for Dak, maybe you would say that's the final frontier for him to cross over that threshold to be even considered amongst those quarterbacks. That's why I say timing. Is he looking at this as a timing route? You're saying coverage, and he's trying to do exactly what we're seeing the other level quarterbacks do, throwing these guys open, and he's throwing because the route is either broken off or there's a misread by by the receiver.
They're not on the same page on these routes.
And we can't act like the man was under fire. I mean, the Green Bay pass rush was non-existent for the most part of that game.
The red zone deal with the tight end and the wide receiver, I'm with y'all. But that right there, what CeeDee Lamb did, no, sir, he can't do that. He can't do that.
You can't have indecision in your route.
Because now you could be up by 21 points. And your defense can let and be what we saw early in the season.
Yeah.
Your defense can't be that now. You're changing the whole dynamics of how you play football.
Facts, as a team.
Yeah, by the way by your lack of execution. And coach said, hey, man, I feel sorry for these guys. No, I feel sorry for you, coach, because you're going to have to make some decisions on some of your star players. Can they handle the business of what need to be done if you want to come out of third place because you ain't going to win it. Not the East.
Now, Isaiah, as a former wide receiver, did you see any indecision by CeeDee Lamb running that route?
On that route, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but on the routes where CeeDee Lamb's just able just to run what the route is called,
Look at that play when he killed Jair Alexander on that post corner. He knew what the route was.
Killed him.
He knew how to break him off.
He could play fast.
I mean, he played fast. That route was way more explosive than those other routes. But at the end of the day, this team still had a 2-touchdown lead.
Yes, sir.
In the fourth quarter.
And the opposing team ran the ball.
2-touchdown lead.
And
you got to bring that home.
And
facts.
And to close out this segment, guys, I got to ask the question because the field goal. The field goal or not to run the field goal. The emotion, there's a lot of emotion going. There's a lot of game time emotion involved.
I gave you my thoughts on it. So
it's a lot of game time emotion involved in that, guys. I mean, for you on the sideline, y'all been battling this for 4 quarters. You see your head coach make this decision. For you, if you had that headset on, what's your decision there?
I would have loved to see him go for the field goal. I would have loved to see it, but if everything Nate was saying was correct, you got to go with your kicker, got to go with your player. If he's not confident enough to go out there and make the kick, then you got to go for it and trust that, your defense going to be able to hold it down, which they weren't able to do. But if I had the headset on, I'm trying to talk to my kicker to get him right, man. You got to make this kick for us.
Now, I think people don't understand that the ball's on the 35-yard line, I believe, at that time. Mm-hmm. If you miss the kick, the ball goes over on the 43-yard line. So, it's return on investment. If you miss it, you give the ball up at the 43.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
but if you don't convert, they get the ball right there. Damn near right there anyway. So, listen here. I get it. We gain more information, more insight from the individuals that were there at the game, on the field, understanding the conditions, understanding the situation. Mm-hmm. All right, so we were able to take a step back and then reevaluate our perspective this morning. Even with that new insight, I'm kicking the ball. I'm kicking the ball simply because of the fact you have to understand where you're at, first of all. You're not at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're not at home. You're in one of the most hostile environments in a tight game that should not have been a tight game against one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever touched this field. Okay? Let's understand that. Okay? Let's also understand the fact that you have a kicker who is more comfortable kicking 50-plus yarders than he is kicking 35-yarders.
Yeah.
Okay? And let's also understand the fact that this is overtime and not regular time. Okay? Overtime, if I kick this field goal and we actually hit it, now they have to score.
Right.
They have to score. And if they want to win, they have to go the length of the field because I'm kicking this thing out the end zone. They got to go 75. Right? But now, all of a sudden, when you go for it and you don't get it, guess what? Now I'm Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Coach, where do I need to go? Where do we need to get to for Crosby? I've been playing with him for a while. I know. Don't worry about it. I know where he needs to go. Right? Crosby, you need to get right there to that 40, right? Okay, what's about 30 yards? Cool, got you.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a break. I need to go and get my yoga breathing exercises going in, man. I forgot Isaiah. He's not Debbie Downer, but it's my man, 100 grand. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more of the Players Lounge.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to the Players Lounge.
'Tis the season for Dallas Cowboys holiday youth camps presented by Invisalign. Registration for one-day football and dance camps are open now. Don't miss your chance to send your athlete to camp at AT&T Stadium on December 20th and 21st. Register today at dallascowboys.com/academy and use code XMAS25, and that's XMAS25 to get $25 off. Back here on the Players Lounge for the final segment, we all did a woosah.
Yes.
Nate didn't do it.
But 2 of us did a woosah.
Nate didn't do it, yeah.
Them dudes over there ain't woosah nothing.
Well, they own one. Between this man and his tablet and his proof, he got proof. He was a lawyer.
He got the receipts.
He got receipts.
Boy, close it off. Well, case is done. Case
You
is
should have
done.
closed out with me because I done made it with me and you felt good.
You know, I take the emotion out of it, Nate, dog. I try my best to take the emotion
His
out of it.
closing argument is, boy, go get you sent to jail.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Close the case on him, man.
I'm gonna send him. Give me the handcuffs. I'm gonna take myself.
There's a handful of quarterbacks that you just don't give the ball back to in that situation.
He's one of them.
He's definitely one of them. TB12, you don't give him the ball back. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, you don't give him the ball back. Drew Brees, okay.
Kid out there.
Patrick Mahomes,
Yes.
right. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Wow.
You just don't.
Yeah. They done got me before too, man.
At least you
I
picked
know the
off
feeling.
Yeah, you picked
this
him off,
is true,
dog.
man.
That's right.
This
That's
is
my
true. I
dog.
got it.
There you go.
Well, look, guys, another big problem. Another big problem that just continues to come back and bite us in the tuchus. We just can't get over the penalty bug. The penalty bug it's just bearing down on us, man. Yeah. I mean, it's every time I think we have it fixed, then here comes Jalen Tolbert. And as a wide receiver, how? I mean, this just seems pretty routine to me. I have a son who's a wide receiver, and most of the time he goes and he points.
Am I good?
Am I good?
Apparently, he was having a discussion with the referee about that. That's the word on the street. The word on the street is he looked over there to ask for confirmation, and sometimes they be zoned out. Sometimes they're not as responsive as you would like for them to be. So the word is that he was over there like, hey, like, am I good or am I not good? And he wasn't good. I guess he told him to move up. I guess he told him to move up. I think that, from my understanding is the sideline just told him to move up, like move on the ball, and then he scooted forward, and then that put him off sides. That's the
Did
word
that
on the
same
street.
ref throw the flag?
That
though?
same ref.
Move up, like
That's the word on the street. I know we got to talk about penalties, but
you shoot with fixed dice.
Can I ask? I want to ask you a question, Heck. I don't want to get away from the penalties, but I want to get this off my chest before I forget. How scared were you when Gallup pulled up?
Oh, dog. It was a wrap. I was like, this is just what first the fat boys break up now this. This is exactly what we need.
Where did your mind go at that point?
You know where my mind went. No. My mind went to an area that I've been opposed to, but right then at that moment, I was like, you know what's a good idea? You know what sounds like a good idea right about now? You know, it's been a distraction all week, but I think now's the time that we seriously consider one Odell Beckham Jr.
Yesterday's price
is
not today's price. Well, they gonna hit him over the head.
Oh, the price went up. The price went up.
Price of the brick went up.
Hey, but when I saw him come back on the field, I was like,
yeah, but the front office though, what's their thought process now? Seeing that, even though it wasn't worst case scenario, seeing that alone should be enough. I'm not even just talking about. Oh, I guess there's not too many other guys to go get, but if that doesn't light a fire underneath you,
now that's tough.
Because if you lose Gallup, what do you?
You have nothing.
Yeah, no, Brown has disappeared. So
He's not.
Did he play?
He's not a dat guy.
Yeah, he was out there.
Yeah,
he was out there.
He's not a dat guy.
Yeah.
Nate, take us home, Nate.
Nate, penalties though.
You want to close out with prayer? That's what we need.
Nate hates penalties. Hey, Nate hates penalties.
So what was your thoughts on that holding? Like, after you saw it, was it like a legit, or was one of them like over? Like, how'd you look at that?
I thought it was on somebody else, but it was on him. So I'm like, wow.
Where's his hands at, Nate?
You know, he was kind of outside, but
was it ticky-tacky or was it like?
Yeah, to me it was. But you know what? I don't do refs. Yeah. It was a holding. And that's
because of his hand placement.
Yeah, that's what the ref called. But fellas, it started with me like this. Do your job, and it's gonna finish with that. Do your job, man. We got the coaches. We got the scheme.
Yep.
Do your job, man.
Yeah.
Excel.
Now we got to end on a positive note. I can't. Hey, come on now. I came here for some upliftment.
What you got?
Come on. We got to get some.
Bring it. Well, you got the right to do it too. Bring it.
I was hoping that it's the players' lounge. I figured that I got 30 years of NFL experience. Y'all saw something out there. Was like, you know what? We can build.
I saw it.
We can build on that. Tell me what was the positive that you saw, man?
Running game.
Yeah.
The negative is you got away from it.
Yeah. Come on, give me something positive. Give me something positive, man. Give me something positive.
Special teams played well.
Yeah, they did.
Devontae Turpin did his thing. We saw Gifford. They forced a fumble out there. So special teams
Sean
played
McEwen
well.
got his head in there too.
Special teams played well.
I'm happy that the young guy Parsons realized that they need to change how they play.
Yeah.
You know, he said that during his post game. We need to change what we're doing. We need to stop filling our gaps and being better run defenders. Believe it, do it. If you believe it, you say it, believe it, do it. You know, so I believe that. If you that hurt, we'll see. Because what's coming in here is a little bit better than what left last week.
Yeah. My positive was Tony Pollard, man. Tony Pollard, for all that he can only carry the ball 15 times, even 22 carries, 115 yards. The running game was on point, man. I love Malik Davis has also come in and put in some quality time. We talked about it a lot last week about how they were going to load the box, and boy, that offensive line was blocking up some 8-man fronts. It was a bunch to try and get through that, but they did it. Did a good job, and like you said, they went away from it. But guys, I appreciate y'all coming in and rocking with us. Newey's on the plane right now. Newey, let me get down and do my thing, my dog. You know what it is. So we'll be back in here tomorrow, man, 2 o'clock, man, and you'll be on
Hanging with the Boys.
And you'll be first thing in the morning.
We talking, baby.
Ain't talking that Cowboy stuff.
Yeah, you keep
Wait,
that old
can
stuff
I ask
on
Nate
your
one
show.
thing
Why
real
can't I
quick?
bring the facts?
Nate, can I ask you something real
Yes,
quick?
sir. Anything you want, Church.
With the way this offensive line is playing right now, do you bring 77 back into the lineup?
I think he's a valuable backup. I really does. I think he can play all. I think he can play 3 positions. I really do. I really think he can play right tackle, left guard, or left.
Well, that's all we got for y'all, and we will be back here tomorrow on DallasCowboys.com
to bring you home,
radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?